Ikan kekek mak iloi iloi, ikan gelama mak tilai tilai, nanti adik mak iloi iloi, pulang sama.
When I make time for old family photos, they invite me to ride along with them. I'm often drawn towards my parents' photo albums. As I look through them, the images flicker into life. Memory fragments, like little fishes, nibble at the end of a fishing line. Sometimes, with curiosity, I follow a photo's beckoning and winking. Look, there's me and my father with our family car. Even prosaic images can have a magical glow. I'm biased, of course. My father died 8 years ago, and it's been over 30 years since my mother died. And now, these photos from my father's camera tease me with random glimpses of what I got up to as a child. I do not know where these two photos were taken, but it is the 1960s, and the light blue Fiat 600 car teleports me back to Queenstown, back to July 1969, to our flat in Commonwealth Crescent. I'm 7 here, my brother 5 with our parents. Doesn't our family group appear to be embraced by the solidness of the television and refrigerator behind us? Yet, it seems to me that old photos dissolve all notions of solidity. They embrace absences and forgotten sensations. Take the sensation of my mother's hand. One day, I was in the front seat of that Fiat 600 with my mother driving. I was holding a towel to my chin, trying to stop the bleeding from a badly cut lip. Each time she stepped on the brakes or turned a corner, my mother's left arm would extend out to steady me. That short drive to the nearby government clinic in Queenstown led to 2 stitches to my lower lip. But what has stayed with me is the feel of her outstretched arm, like a seat belt, that reassuring weight of my mother's hand on me. Say the name Queenstown, show me that image of our sweet little blue car, and like air bubbles rising to the water surface, I half remember our many family outings. They were regular weekend outings like this one to Pasir Panjang Park. The seaside here reminds me of how we also ventured further west to the Jurong swamps, where the water glittered under the canopy of wild mangrove. My father loved fishing, and the first time I held a wooden fishing reel in my hands was at one of these fishing trips. I see our little car winding its way from Commonwealth Crescent to Jurong. In the back, my brother and I fidget about. Off the Jurong main road, our Fiat 600 turns into a winding track going deep into the mangrove swamp until we arrive at a shaded clearing. You hold a reel with this hand, Father shows us. Now, feel the line gently with the fingers of your other hand. When a fish bites, you will know. Our fishing line trembles with tension. pulled gently by the water current. Oh, a nibble, a tug. As we wind up our line onto the wooden reel, water droplets flicker off. A glitter of silver leaps into the air. I can still see my father's hand, calmly detaching the Ikan Kekek or pony fish from the hook. As our little Fiat 600 ferries us home, the dozens of Ikan Kekek call out, croaking, a dejected chorus from the plastic bucket, croaking away in our half-asleep years. They will soon be gutted and deep-fried. And sometimes, from these old black and white photos, a colour flashes up like the flame of a Bunsen burner. Those blobs on my knees are purple. When we grazed our elbows and knees, my parents applied yellow flavin lotion or gentian violet. Ouch! That stings! The yellow flavin soon faded, but those violet patches remained long after we had picked and annoyed a healing itchy scab. Once, at the Queenstown kindergarten, I saw a classmate with purple welts on his bare legs. I knew this poor boy had suffered a caning. His welts looked painful and they glowed like arrowheads of shame with gentian violet. Isn't it intriguing how the colour purple connects with this cadence of pain in my memory? But stronger still is the high frequency of joy from children's laughter. Here, a scruffy me, about 4, my little brother, our neighbours Zul or Zulkifli from one side, and oh, what's his name? That boy in pyjamas. He lived on the other side. We children were in and out of each other's homes. Our front doors opened onto a shared corridor which echoed with our games and laughter. These photos seemed to nudge at me. Since we moved away when I was about 10, I haven't been back to Queenstown. So, I finally make a visit, just to have a little look around. My footsteps feel strange and unfamiliar on the pavement. I pause, and there beyond the car park and market, I make out, yes, block 98. Each day, home from kindergarten, us neighbouring children played in that common corridor, and when the magic hour of 4 o'clock came, we would gather our pieces of cardboard and head downstairs. I wonder if that hill still stands behind our block. The noisy chatter of children fill the air as we slide, shouting, squealing, and with a swoosh, down we go, Zul, his sister Norizan, and I. The hill leans into the blue sky at just the right angle. Oh, we are having so much fun. I drag my piece of cardboard up, lay it down, flatten it, and sit on top of it. Come on, Zul, let's race. Okay, ready, get set, go. You're always faster than me. I'm older than you. Look, Norizan is waving. Must be dinner time. Come on, Zul, let's have one last slide. We are coming, Norizan. I expect Zul and Norizan would be in their early 60s now. I wonder if they recall the enormous fun we had sliding down the hill. Block 98 has new lifts which stop on each floor. Shall I try and locate our corridor? I take a deep breath and steel myself for disappointment. Can this be the same view from our old flat? Now with all those tall trees in the distance? And is this our corridor? Once, my little brother almost fell over the ledge. Norizan, Zul and I grabbed his t-shirt and yanked him back from tumbling down to the car park below. We shouted for our parents. My brother was crying. Seared in my memory is the electric current of that moment. If our hands had missed, I shiver and hesitate. Excuse me, I'm looking for the family of Norizan and Zulkifli. They lived here many years ago. You see, I was their neighbor back in the 1960s. Look, here is a photo of us from that time. Really? My goodness. Did you say this boy here, Zul, is your uncle? And he now lives in Johor with his family? What about your auntie Norizan? That is just astonishing. Norizan is your mum? You mean your mum is this girl here in the photo? I have to pause and marvel at this rare, elusive something that I have stumbled upon here. Who would have thought that with a photo of our little car, I would be led back to Block 98 Commonwealth Crescent, and what is more, find that Norizan, Zul's sister, continues to live here since those days when we played together. As I step through her doorway, Norizan greets me with Tina, my shortened family name from childhood. It's only my brother now who uses Tina when we speak long distance. Norizan says, "Remember, Tina, you used to call me Nori." Did I? I have forgotten. Do you remember how our tiny kitchen stopped just here? And now the back of the whole block has been extended right up to the foot of the hill. I look out of Norizan's kitchen window. The hill does appear small, towered over by a widened Block 98. Two happy children swooshing down, hands gripping tightly onto brown cardboard, the wind in our hair and faces. It was a big hill. Surely, when I emerged from the lift, after nearly 50 years, the smallest margin of probability made locating Norizan most unlikely, let alone meet with her and even step into my old flat. You see, my family's flat has become part of Norizan's enlarged home, with the dividing wall between us knocked down. Going through old photos, I learn that the topography of memory changes over time. Mythical or real, this hill in Queenstown might just, with the glee of remembered laughter, sit up that bit taller. So I tell myself, let me trust in the benevolence of Norizan's memories and just enjoy, savor that wonderful alchemy of old photos and remembering.